Republicans on their way to delivering a big win to the Trump administration, a sweeping tax reform package. But what will it mean for you? Different answers to that question this morning from two Ohio leaders. Welcome to The Spectrum. I'm Colleen Marshall. Democrats say the tax plan will hurt middle-class families by eliminating deductions for things like state and local taxes in a plan that provides the greatest level of relief, they say, for the ultra-rich. Ohio Senator Rob Portman was an architect of the tax reform bill, and he tells me it will help the middle class.
I encourage folks to look at the numbers. You know, they can go on the official website, that's the Joint Committee on Taxation, jct.gov, and check it out themselves. But in Ohio, the median income family in Ohio will see about a $2,375 tax cut. If you're making $50,000 a year in Ohio, it's about a 36% tax cut. If you're making $85,000 a year, it's about a 20% tax cut. And if you're making, say, $180,000 a year, it's more like an 8% tax cut. So depends what level you're at, Colleen, but you know, there is real tax relief. It's a doubling of the standard deduction. About 2/3 of the people in Columbus already take the standard deduction. Now it'll be about 90–95%, which is a big simplification, obviously, but also creates a big zero tax bracket up to about $24,000 for a family. By the way, 3 million people will leave the tax rolls altogether who are currently subject to income tax, will no longer pay any income tax, who are at the lower, economic level. So it's tax relief. It's, I think Senator Brown's concern maybe is more on the health care side, as I understand it.
I know he also has concerns about health care, and obviously a lot of people do about Obamacare. And then we saw Senator Sanders stand up on the floor of the Senate the other day and point out that there are tax packages, tax relief specifically directed toward American citizens who have set up residency in the Virgin Islands, a handful of hedge fund operators who are going to cost the taxpayers of the United States about $600 million. Don't you see why people look at this with suspicion?
Well, I would if I believed that, but it's not true. In fact, what this reform does, and this comes out of many years of work on the international side. Chuck Schumer and I, as you may know, who's the Democratic leader, co-chaired the task force on this 2 years ago. And we came out with a proposal that said, yeah, let's make American workers and American businesses competitive, which has always been bipartisan because, as you know, we have the highest rate in the world. But as we do that, let's put in place what are called base erosion rules to keep exactly what you're talking about from happening. By the way, which is happening now. People are going to these tax havens and not paying any taxes. And we've said, no, there's got to be a minimum tax you have to pay. And that's what the base erosion rules are. And again, I encourage people to go online and take a look at it. But it will actually change the current law to say that if you try to do that, basically it's shifting income overseas to very low tax jurisdictions, including some that are zero tax, like the Cayman Islands. You can't do that anymore.
Why not require companies who are getting tax breaks to create jobs in the United States? There was no requirement that kept them from not only taking the tax breaks, but maybe moving jobs overseas.
Well, that's what's happening now, and that's the problem we're trying to address. So, as an example, and I think what you're referring to maybe is the repatriation, because there is about $2.5 or $3 trillion that's overseas right now that should be here in America. In other words, companies have made money overseas, and they don't bring it back because we've got this high tax rate, the highest in the industrialized world. If you lower the rate to 20% and you say you're going to go to this new tax system, we want to be sure that that money comes back here. And some have said, well, let's have it come back, that's good, but let's require it be spent a certain way. That gets complicated because everybody's got a different way they'd like to see that spent, infrastructure or specifically a worker retraining or a specific kind of jobs. I think we have to see how that goes. I mean, I think what companies will do if they want to be competitive is they will invest in their workers, they will invest in productivity, which, as you know, economists say is the main reason we have flat wages, is that our productivity has gotten so low. And that's what a lot of economists think will happen. I think we've got to see how it goes, Colleen, but I think it's important that we get that money back here in America. It shouldn't be stuck overseas. Companies are literally building facilities overseas because they can't bring the money back at this high rate.
But I got a very different view of tax reform from Central Ohio Congresswoman Joyce Beatty, a Democrat, who says the GOP has a hidden agenda.
My colleagues on the other side of the aisle are saying to them, this is something that's really good, and it's going to help the economy, and it's going to help middle-class individuals. Well, It's a tax hike, and it's going to cause problems for seniors, for millennials, for college students, for hardworking Americans.
Congresswoman Beatty says she is on a mission and will knock on doors if need be to educate voters about a bill that she says even had members of Congress in the dark.
2 o'clock in the morning, really? A 479-page document that was given to members of Congress just a few hours before 2 a.m. with lines in the margins and words that people couldn't even read. That's not the America that I ran to go to Congress to fight for.
Here's how she says it will hurt you: limiting property tax deductions, limiting mortgage deductions, eliminating deductions for higher education loan payments, and she says the GOP couldn't kill Obamacare, so they've hidden in the tax bill a provision to eliminate the individual mandate for health care. Republicans say the bill will spur economic growth. Tax savings for businesses mean more jobs with higher wages, a win for the middle class. Beatty says it's a win for the top 1%.
People need to know that it's going to hurt people. And here's the other thing that's so important. In my district, seniors really vote. It's going to take away $25 billion from Medicare. So when you look at the deficit that it's going to put this country in, it bothers me that this trickle-down effect is going to help the wealthiest folks.
And that bill is now in a Senate and House committee.